What if I told you that Russia and North Korea bear more similarities than you might think? This might seem like an unlikely comparison, but if we look beyond the surface, we'll find intriguing parallels that link these two nations. Let's start with geography. Russia, the world's largest country, sprawls across Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, while North Korea, much smaller in size, lies in the eastern part of the Asian continent. Despite their size difference, both share borders with multiple nations and have coastlines that open to strategic bodies of water. Now let's consider their political structures. Both countries have been shaped by their unique histories, leading to the formation of political systems that, while distinct, share certain characteristics. These include centralized power structures and a tendency towards isolationism. Intrigued? You should be. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Join us as we dive deeper into the fascinating comparison between Russia and North Korea. Both Russia and North Korea on the surface may seem worlds apart, but their political systems tell a different story. Let's start with Russia. Russia's political structure is a federal semi-presidential republic. This means that while there is a president, there is also a prime minister who shares the power. However, the president holds more authority, making the system lean heavily towards a central authority. The president even has the power to dismiss the prime minister and the cabinet. This creates a strong central figure, a common trait in both Russia and North Korea. In North Korea, the political structure is a one-man rule under a system called the Kim dynasty. Here, the supreme leader holds absolute power, a central authority that goes unchallenged. This mirrors Russia's strong central figure, albeit North Korea's system is more extreme. Let's move to the party system. In Russia, United Russia is the dominant party. While other parties exist, they often struggle to gain traction against the behemoth that is United Russia. This dominance of a single party is a feature that Russia shares with North Korea. In North Korea, the Workers' Party is the only party with substantial power. Other parties exist, but they are largely symbolic and have no real power or influence. This one-party dominance is very much a parallel between the two nations. State-controlled media is another common thread. In Russia, while independent media do exist, they face significant pressure from the state. This leads to a media landscape that is largely dominated by state-controlled outlets. In North Korea, the situation is even more extreme. The state controls all media, with no room for independent journalism. This total control over media is another shared characteristic between Russia and North Korea. So, you see, while these two nations may appear distinct on the surface, their political systems reveal similar patterns. Strong central authority, one-party rule, and state-controlled media are political parallels that tie Russia and North Korea together. Intriguing, isn't it? But there's more to the story. Beyond politics, the economic landscapes of Russia and North Korea also draw some interesting parallels. When we delve into the economies of Russia and North Korea, we find that both nations are steered by a similar economic model. This model places the state at the helm, controlling major industries and sectors. In Russia, the state dominates key areas of the economy. Think of oil, gas, and heavy industries. The government holds a tight grip on these sectors, asserting control through state-owned enterprises. This control is not just for economic power, but it's also a political tool, a way to maintain influence and stability. North Korea, on the other hand, follows what it calls a juche, or self-reliance ideology. Here, the state controls pretty much everything, from agriculture to industry. The goal is to be as independent as possible from the rest of the world, to stand alone and self-sufficient. Now, this state-driven model does come with its own set of challenges. In Russia, it's led to a lack of competition and innovation, as well as accusations of corruption. North Korea faces even steeper hurdles. Its self-reliance policy has resulted in economic isolation, and it struggles with food shortages and a lack of basic necessities. But it's not all doom and gloom. Both countries are making efforts to navigate these challenges. Russia has been making strides towards modernizing its economy, investing in technology and trying to diversify away from oil and gas. North Korea, though still largely closed off, has seen some economic reforms under Kim Jong-un. There's been a rise in semi-private markets and an increased tolerance for private enterprise. So what does this all mean? Well, despite the differing political ideologies, Russia and North Korea have a shared economic narrative. One where the state plays a leading role, where challenges are met head-on, and where self-reliance is a guiding principle. It seems the economic ties that bind are stronger than you might have thought. But the similarities don't end at politics and economics. There are also cultural commonalities to consider. Let's begin with history. Both Russia and North Korea have a shared past that's deeply rooted in the 20th century. The Soviet Union's influence on North Korea in the years following World War II has left an indelible mark on the country's cultural fabric. This shared history has resulted in a unique blend of cultures that's both intriguing and fascinating. Moving on to language, the Russian influence is evident. While Korean remains the official language of North Korea, the Russian language still holds a place of prominence. Many North Koreans learn Russian as a second language, particularly those in academia or government positions. This linguistic bond is another testament to the shared cultural heritage of these two nations. Now let's delve into the traditional customs. Despite the geographical distance, Russia and North Korea share some common rituals and traditions. For instance, in both nations, the New Year is a major holiday. It's a time for family gatherings, gift-giving, and feasting on traditional foods. Additionally, both countries have a rich tradition of folk dance and music, which often serve as powerful expressions of national identity and pride. Another noteworthy commonality is the reverence for leaders. Both Russians and North Koreans have a tradition of strong leadership, and this is reflected in their cultural practices. Monuments and statues of leaders are common sights in both countries, symbolizing the respect and admiration for those who lead. Lastly, let's talk about literature. Both nations have a rich literary tradition, with works often focusing on themes of struggle, resilience, and national pride. Russian literature has had a significant influence on North Korean literature, particularly during the Soviet era. So, as we've seen, while Russia and North Korea may seem worlds apart, they share more than just political and economic similarities. The cultural ties that bind these two nations are deep and enduring, reflecting a shared history and mutual influences that have shaped their identities. Culture, it seems, is another thread weaving these two nations together. So, what does all of this mean for our understanding of Russia and North Korea? Let's take a moment to distill what we've unraveled. In terms of politics, both Russia and North Korea exhibit a similar power structure. The strong central authority, the role of a single party, and the importance of a charismatic leader are elements echoed in both nations. This political setup has shaped the way these countries interact with the rest of the world, often resulting in strained relationships and international skepticism. When we delve into their economies, we see a pattern of state-controlled industries and centralized planning. Both countries have grappled with economic hardships, albeit for different reasons, and have sought to combat this through various means. Russia, with its vast natural resources, has sought to leverage these as a means to bolster its economy. North Korea, on the other hand, has focused on self-reliance, or juche, to navigate its economic challenges. Their cultural similarities, though not as apparent, hold their own weight in this comparison. The pride in their national identity, the emphasis on collective over individual, and the value they place on tradition and history all paint a picture of two nations that, despite their geographical distance, share a common cultural ethos. But why does this matter? Understanding these similarities provides us with a lens to view and interpret the actions of these nations. It helps us to predict potential future behaviors and gives us context for their current decisions. It reminds us that nations are not merely political entities on a map, but intricate systems shaped by their history, culture, and economy. Most importantly, it encourages us to look beyond the surface, to unravel the complexities that lie beneath the headlines and stereotypes. It prompts us to question, to learn, and to seek a deeper understanding of the world around us. Next time you think about Russia and North Korea, remember that beneath the surface, these two nations share more than meets the eye. We've come a long way in our journey comparing Russia and North Korea. Through this voyage, we've dipped our toes into the vast ocean of geopolitics, unveiling the striking similarities and inherent differences between these two nations. With each layer of political, economic, and cultural fabric we peeled back, we found unexpected parallels that challenge our preconceived notions and stereotypes. Understanding international relations is akin to solving a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece represents a nation, and it's only when you connect them all that you see the bigger picture. The intricate dance of diplomacy, the delicate balance of power, the rhythm of economies, and the melody of cultures, all contribute to this grand symphony we call our world. Every nation has its own tale to tell, its own role to play, and its own impact on the global stage. We hope this comparison has sparked your curiosity, encouraging you to delve deeper into the fascinating world of geopolitics.